I want Liberian Lone Star, one of four players. I want Liberian Lone Star, got one of four players. I want Liberian people, we choose success. I want Liberian people, we choose success.
Liberian people, we choose success. Our Liberian people, we choose success. Wherever you play, wherever you go, the Liberian people, we choose victory, victory, victory. Looks like it was victory. Looks like it was victory. Looks like it was victory.
As you're joining us this evening, I want to welcome all of you to Talk Liberia. This time it's Sports Talk. We have two distinguished guests who will be joining us shortly. As they come in the studio, we ask that you do us a favor, share the video. Liberia former track and field coach Kelvin Soko will be with us in the building tonight. Of course, our track and field athlete, Mr. Bill Rogers, as well, is going to be joining us. Do us a favor, share the video, invite somebody, tell somebody else to come and be a part of today's conversation. Liberia sport, or impacts on the society, and of course, those of us who are athletes, or at one point in time serve as athletes.
Money champion, money champion, money champion, money champion, money champion.
Those of you that are following us from the YouTube channel, say, please do us a favor, share the video as well. Share the link with other people. The impact of sports in Liberia. Blessed to have with us two legendary contributors to our society. Mr. Kelvin Soko, your former coach, who actually contributed in a way that we will find out tonight. Mr. Bill Rogers. There's a lot of things to talk about tonight, but we cannot get there until you do your part. Somebody said, would there be a little bit of politics? Yeah, we'll throw a little bit of politics. Just small. A little bit of politics. We'll throw that in. For the sake of you Liberians, we will talk politics just a little bit, but it's all about sport. All-Star just hired a new coach. What does that mean for Liberia Lone Star? what impact has it done
Yeah.
thus far?
Liberia golden boys, hey yeah. Liberia yellow boys, hey yeah.
As I said earlier, do us a favor, share the video. Invite somebody, tell somebody else to come and be a part of today's conversation.
Everybody shake it for me.
Ferguson, 1 year, welcome to the show. Benjamin Jonah, welcome to the show. Sita Chesapeake Norris, welcome to the show, Miss Beautiful. Jock Saint Kekula, welcome to the show as well. Folks, we want to welcome all of you. It's about 12 past the hours, 12 o'clock. Well, 8 o'clock, I'm sorry. 12 past the hour of 8 o'clock. As often said, folks, I'm your host, your humble 7 Lofa Julius, and I'll come to you live from the People's City of Raleigh, the state of North Carolina. Been a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day out here. I don't know about you, but we are blessed to have had a very wonderful day, warm weather, as we prepare ourselves to jump into spring. And you all know how it is. I don't know what you got planned for your spring break, but please come to North Carolina if you got anything planned. Today, we have 2 distinguished guests who will be joining us on Sports Talk. We have Mr. Kelvin Soko, who will introduce himself and tell you a little bit about a lot more about himself. And as well, we have Bill Rogers, who should be joining us shortly. We are grateful that Mr. Kelvin Soko lives by the time, and he goes by the time. He's already here with us in the studio. So we'll bring him in, and then we will go from there. We want to be very thankful, folks. Do us a favor, share the video, invite your friends to be a part of this historical moment, something that we all will hopefully learn from when it comes to Liberia. Mr. Soko, welcome to Talk Sports. Let's hear from you. Welcome to the this is your debut on Across Africa. Have you ever been on the network, the entire network, not just the program, but I don't think you ever been on Across Africa, have you?
No.
No. So this is your debut. We want to welcome you to the network Across Africa. Thank you for accepting our invitation and being here today. We hope that we can have a great interaction, and hopefully you can come back again and be a regular participant on the show. For the sake of our listening audience, tell us, who is Mr. Soko? What do you know? First of all, I want to start. Did you hear the song I played earlier?
Yeah.
What do you know about that song?
That was the major song when the Lone Star was about to play. I
Mm,
think it was produced by Vonnie Cannon.
okay.
Yeah, the Lone Star player. They play that song every moment when Lone Star was playing, most especially when Lone Star score a goal, they'll play that song.
Wow. And when you hear that song, what feeling did it bring to you? Like, how did you feel when you hear this song play, especially when Lone Star score a goal? How did you feel?
We're so excited, very, very excited. The euphoria, you could feel the stadium. Everybody was just in very joyous mood.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
great that we still have these memories here. But let's get into the conversation. Tell us a little bit. Who is Mr. Kelvin Soko? And the interest in sports. What got you in that direction?
Well, first of all, I would like to thank you for inviting me to your show, and I'm very appreciative to be here tonight on your show across Africa. This is my first time. Um, I'm a born person in sport. I was born in sport. My family, my oldest brother, my older sister, they were all in sport. I was born in Firestone, grew up in Firestone, played sports in Firestone before I started to extend to other parts of the country. And I ended up becoming a track coach. But I played soccer in elementary school, played soccer in junior high school at Bozeman. I was a co-captain at Bozeman in 1976, 77. When I graduated, I went to BWI. I became a member of the BWI Tigers team, and I was given a scholarship at BWI. As a matter of fact, I had two scholarships, one in track and one in soccer, which benefited me a lot. And I will say many thanks to F. Amadou Seli at the time, who offered a lot of young folks who were talented sports scholarship to continue their education. And when I graduated from BWI, I matriculated to Monrovia. I was working at the Ministry of Youth and Sports as a cadet coach at the time. I was recruited from BWI when I graduated, and I used to work with Coach James Davis as the junior coach in 1984. At the time, the Ministry of Youth and Sport was on the boulevard, right opposite the old agricultural ministry. That's where we were. And then I was given the responsibility to recruit the 1984 uh, Olympic team for Liberia heading to Los Angeles. And that was the first time I was opportune to have recruited the first female track athlete that represented Liberia in the Olympic, which was one of our historical marks. And 1988, I was able to recruit also the second female athlete, Melvina Wula, who is, I think, currently in Germany. And Grace Dinking is here in the USA. She's now a medical doctor. And that's what sport can do. Uh, Having said that, in 1997, 1998, I had the opportunity to travel to Kenya to do my advanced training, and I came up with excellent A plus. And then the International Olympic Committee and the IAAF invited me to go back to Kenya. Unfortunately, the war took place in 1990. We couldn't travel. In 1991, we revitalized the Ministry of Youth and Sports after all the devastation from the war. And the first meeting was held at the Ducal Palace where the interim government under Dr. Amos Sawyer, the late, appointed Dr. Jabaru Kalon to head the Ministry of Youth and Sports. And in the sports area, we were assembled to organize the technical arm of the youth and sports in the sports area. And Walter Pelon, Coach Walter Pelon, the late, peace be to his soul, headed the soccer arm of the sports. And I was appointed to head the track and field arm of the sports. And Sam Momalu was appointed to head the basketball arm of the sports. And Coach Baby Joe Boca headed the boxing arm of the sports. And one, Isaac Davis, he used to play table tennis at the same time coaching the table tennis arm of the sports. And that's how it all started until I was appointed the national coach in 1991 for the national team. And I was able to have my first meeting at the Anthony Tottenham Stadium because the Youth and Sport Ministry had moved to Nipo Street then at the time. And we had combatants from the barracks who had refused to accept the interim government to be established in Liberia. So we were chased out of the building almost frequently on Nipo Street. So I used to have my meeting at the Anthony Tottenham Stadium. And what got me interested, I was originally a soccer player, for the matter of fact. I was originally a soccer player because I can remember Coach Walter Pelon went to Kakata to recruit me to play for St. Joseph Warriors. But at the time, I was playing for the Giant Killer, Young Eagle, And at that time, we used to play Barrow, IE, St. Joseph Warriors, and we stand toe-to-toe with them. So I was very much interested, and I was assistant captain for Young Eagle. And my captain was Boyer, they call him. I think he's in Philadelphia or something. So I did not want to leave Young Eagle, but then I was influenced heavily by Coach Walter Pelon. He said, Kevin, I need you. I need defender. I told him, Coach, I can't leave Young Eagle, And then I had devil influence, for the matter of fact. There was a professor at the University of Liberia called Coach Trevor Hall. He came on BWR and told me, say, look, you are very smart in this sport of track and field, and your country does not have good track coaches. Will you go in this area and benefit your country tomorrow, which is the future? And I listened to him, and today you'll find me here. And when I was appointed as the national coach in 1991 by the Ministry of Youth and Sports, I went to Kenya again in 1994 to pursue my high-level diploma coaching course. And I came on top of the class. And they offered me the chance to prepare for the Olympics in Atlanta, 1996. But before that, I had taken the team to Germany for the World Championships. We went to the World Championships and we came back. And then I took the team again in 1995 to Sweden, Gothenburg, for the second World Championship before preparing for the 1996 Olympic Games. But while preparing for the 1996 Olympic Games, hell broke loose in Monrovia. And that was the Roosevelt Johnson and the Charles Taylor saga. It was very, very devastating. People were running all over the city. Guns were firing all over the city. But to myself, I felt that it was only sport that could end war. War should not end sports. So I used to gather all of my athletes around me and we used to practice over at the Port Authority field, closer to the Ecomore base. There where we used to practice. I used to keep the athletes intact, and Coach Walter Pellon used to always advise me, to keep going on. And I told him that we are preparing to go to the United States to represent our country at the Olympics. And the purpose of us going to the United States to represent our country was to put the Liberian flag up among the rest of the world, because the world have forgotten about Liberia. So when I went to the Ecomore base to request a phone call to Switzerland, Lausanne, to tell the Olympic Committee that we are preparing to go to the Olympic, can we get some help? And like I told you guys on the closing argument show, that the Ecomore took me to be rebel, And I told them, I said, if I'm rebel, I will not pass to the main gate. I will jump over the fence. They said, no, if you don't move back, I'm going to shoot you. I said, okay, then you got to kill me. If you want to kill me for my country, kill me for my country. But I'm not going. So they came closer, and, as you could do anything to get your point through. My last full money I had with me, 70 US bucks, I took it and gave it to them to do that 1 minute phone call to Switzerland. They allowed me. I did the call, and the lady picked up the phone, and she said, what can I do for you? I said, I'm Coach Kevin Soko of Liberia. We are preparing to go to the Olympics in Atlanta, but plane not coming to Monrovia. So can you help us? She said, what do you want me to do? I said, give us a referral. She said, I will give you a referral to French Ivory Coast. I told her, we don't speak French. We are not Francophone. Can you give us a referral to British Sierra Leone? Which she did. And after that, I called a meeting at the Anthony Tottenham Stadium. I told the athletes, I said, look, you know what? We're going to the Olympic, and we are going only one thing on our mind, to put the Liberian flag up at that Olympic, because the world have forgotten about us. And every one of you here, meet me in Freetown. And believe me, almost 40 to 50 athletes gather in Freetown along with myself. And we were in Freetown for 2 weeks, no food, nothing to eat. We were training. And I kept mobilizing the athletes. I kept keeping them together. And as God will have it, one of our athletes that I recruited from the Cottington University, at the time it was Cottington College, Hassan Tor, he heard about us on the radio. And he came to look for us in Freetown. And he was able to give us 11,000 leon for food. But I felt to myself that, going to America to put our country flag up was more than food. So I told the athlete, I said, this money, we're not going to eat it. Let's have a dry fast for 3 days and pray to God, because next Friday, the embassy will be closing for the summer, and there'll be no visa if we don't get the visa now. So the athletes, they were agitated, they were in confusion with me, that Coach Soko, if you don't give our money and we lose this money, we're going to deal with you, X, Y. I said, okay, let's just pray. Let's just have the dry fast. And tomorrow is Thursday. I want all of you to walk behind me. Walk behind me, and let's sing the song, We Shall Overcome. And I love that song. When I was at BWI, whenever we were playing a very tough game, like we playing Charlotte Tuber, that had almost half of the national team player. We playing Ware Heston, that had almost half of the national team player. We will sing that song, and we will win that game. So I told the athlete, walk behind me from this hotel. Let's go to the U.S. Embassy. And I don't want anybody to look back. Let's just walk straight. This is Sodom and Gomorrah era. And Moses at the Red Sea with the children of Israel. Let's move forward. And we're singing that song. All the children were behind me. They were excited. When we got to the embassy, all the security that was stopping us at the U.S. embassy in Freetown, they started to give us a chance, but they wanted money. So I took the money and started to give it to the security, the 11,000 leon. I gave all that 11,000 leon to the security, and they allowed me to go up step. But then the lady, she was about to go to meeting. She was about to go to meeting and then close the embassy to take off for the United States. So I did that. Oh, William V.S. taught me starting, the white handkerchief stopped. I started to swing the white handkerchief. And then she looked through the window. She came. She said, what do you want? I said, we are here for our visa. She said, okay, I can do this for you. Give me your passport. I gave her my passport. She went in her office, stamped the visa. She came and gave it to me. She said, okay, you can go now. Let the rest of the people stay. I told her, no, I'm not going. I said, all those athletes you see behind me, they are the future flag bearers of Liberia. They are the ambassadors of Liberia. And we are going to the United States to put the Liberia flag up among the rest of the world. The world have forgotten about us in our civil turmoil. So we are going there to send a message. She said, but where are they? I said, go to your office and look through the window. Look under that cutting tree. You will see all those athletes I'm mentioning to you. And that's how she went in her office. She saw the children. She came back. She said, Kevin, I can't give all these children visas. I can give you visa. You can go. And don't you? I told her, no. I took my passport. I gave it back to her. I said, okay, then the best thing you can do, you can just remove your visa from my passport because I'm not leaving any of the children here. I'm taking every one of them. And the lady told me, say, Kevin, I've never seen anybody like you. I've been working here for more than 20 years. Nobody has refused the American visa. I told her, ma'am, I am the one who's going to do it because I'm the coach, I'm the father, I'm the mother of all those athletes you see down there.
So, Mrs., let me just quickly to that point. Let me just ask you
Yeah.
a quick question here.
Mm-hmm.
What motivated you to stand up firm? Anybody else in the world would say this is an opportunity for me to travel to the United States, and you were given a visa. You rejected it on grounds that your athletes were not given visa. What really was going through your mind? Your mind then? What was it?
The thing is, I always stand up for the truth. I always believe in the truth. And it would be good to die for something than to die for nothing. That's the belief that I hold. For example, let me backtrack you. When we were preaching to have equity in women's sports in Liberia in the 80s,
Mhm.
I demonstrated that in track and field. I told the minister then, Minister Frebley, peace be to his soul, that we want to send the first female athletes to the Olympic. And group of people in the Ministry of Youth and Sport came and surrounded me. That you can't carry female to the Olympic. We don't carry female to Olympic. It's a men's team. I said no. We have to carry at least 2 or 3 female athletes. And they told me, say, we can't do that. I said the first thing we have to decentralize the sport. Let's go out into the counties. I think at that time we had 13 counties. So let's go out into the county and recruit the best, the cream de la cream of the athletes. And then we send them to the Olympic instead of just cherry picking them. And that's how I went to Cottington. I got Boa Wilson. I went to BWI. I got Esther Howard. And then I was able to get Grace Dinkin from the University of Liberia. And those 3 ladies were training on the team. Unfortunately, 2 was dropped. Esther Howard and Boa Wilson. And we managed with Grace Dinkins. So at the embassy, it was not strange thing to me, okay, that I told the lady, say, you can take your visa from my passport and let me go. It was my heart. It was my heart. I love my country. I love my fellow men. And God was just driving me to do what I did. And at the end, I succeeded because she looked in my face and saw the sincerity in my face when I gave that passport back to her to take her visa from Ine.
What?
And then she told me, okay, let me go to the window and see. When she went to the window, she came running back. Oh my God, oh my gosh. She said, can you let them come upstairs? I said, yes. And almost all those kids, young college athletes, high school athletes, all of them came upstairs. The Sierra Leonean security at the gate, they were so furious. They said they never seen that kind of thing before. For a group of young people from different countries just kind of walk up the embassy and wanting visa. These rebels, they were calling us. I said, we're not rebels. If we were rebels, we wouldn't kind of run here. You know?
Sierra Leoneans were referring to Liberians as rebels.
Oh yeah, they were calling us rebel, rebel, rebel. Okay,
Wow.
and I didn't mind. I didn't mind at all. Okay, because the reason was that my conscience was clear. We had Sierra Leonean on our track team. We embraced them in Liberia to compete on our track team. They compete in the county meet. They compete in the university competition, and most of them attend the University of Liberia. Most of whom are here in the United States. So I wasn't afraid at all in Freetown. You know why they were chastising or humiliating or tormenting us. I was not scared. I was
Wow.
not scared at all.
Courageous move on your part.
Thank you. Thank you.
Here's my question to you though. Where are we today when it comes to sports in general? When I looked at the Lone Star, you mentioned the song we play at the very beginning. Back then, it was the team song for the Lone Star soccer game. Where are we today when it comes to soccer and track and field? Have we won any medal? And if so, who was the athlete who won the medal for Liberia? And are we even appreciating these athletes for their contribution based on your view?
Okay, but let me land, and I'll come to that.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So the lady called everybody in, and she stamped all those 40 passports. One of whom you couldn't see her face. The ring messed his passport up. He's right now in North Carolina. And one of our athletes was not present, Mr. Hassan Kiau. He was not present. He was not among the group. Okay, so but sometimes we refer to that as doubting Thomases, you know. So we had to go and get him downtown. And the lady told me, say, I'll give you up to 2 o'clock. If you don't bring that man, I'm not going to get him visa. That's how we got Hassan Kawu on board. And all those children got their passport. That's how we came to America and put our country flag up. And many of whom did not go back early. I was the last person to go back to Liberia for visit in 2014. So that's how successful that journey was. Now, coming to Liberia on the development level, I have been preaching uh, sports decentralization because Liberia is a very small country, less than 6 million people. You can't have the sports to be played only on one side of the country. For instance, if you divide the country into two diagonally, you will find out that most of the sports are being played right in the south. Okay, Monrovia, Magibik, Bombing, uh, Grand Bassa, and that will be it. In the interior, most of the kids don't play the sports because there are no chance, no opportunity. Their parents are very poor. But during our days, um, I'm happy that we had the American Peace Corps in the 60s and the 70s. Yeah, they carried the sports into the interior, most especially the basketball, volleyball, and then the British people brought soccer to Liberia in the 30s. But it was through Freetown, through President Barclay. That's how soccer came to Liberia. And when soccer came to Liberia, Liberia was able to join the International Olympic Committee in 1956. That was the first time Liberia joined the International Olympic Committee, and Liberia sent its first contingent to the Melbourne, Australia Olympic. And then President Totma, seeing the desperation of Liberians to have sports in the country, he was able to build the Antoinette Totma Stadium, named in honor of his wife, Antoinette Totma. I think it was in 1955 or something. And that was the time the national team had rebirth. But soccer in itself started in the 30s with the Barman, Supreme, I think Supreme Bread or something like that. But they were playing in the community, West Point Beach, Sleway, Gidel, Gazing Fee around there, and then New Crew Town. And there was no national stadium. So Tottenham was the one that built the Antoinette Tottenham Stadium, and then Lone Star started to get a boost from there, where they had the national team to go to Ivory Coast to play the Ivorian team, went to Ghana, play. And during those days, Lone Star was Lone Star. We used to beat most of the West African countries, Sierra Leone, Gambia, Guinea. We used to win them in sports. Before we had the inauguration of our new complex in 1986, and I was part of that inauguration, the Samuel Kayode Sports Complex in 1986, and in that era, the photo you see in there, okay, were the guys who were in that era. Okay, before that era, it used to be the Mama Musa, Benedict Wise, and what Santos Maria before them. Okay, and the other athletes. After them came this dream team. We call them. That was the Salensa, the George Weah, what the senator name from River G? Borchas.
Charles, okay.
Okay, yeah, that particular group. Okay, yeah, they were the ones that we call the dream team, and they nearly went to the World Cup. From the information that I gathered, you know, and the reason for that, I will be clear here that it was through President Samuel Kayode. He was interested in soccer. So he pushed a lot of eccentric motivation into, extrinsic motivation into the sports, meaning that he paid the athletes monthly at the Ministry of Finance check, and he was able to give, I think, $10,000 to each of the footballer, and he told them to build houses, to do something good with that money, because sports don't last forever. You could fall back on it. And I can also remember President Samuel Kayode gave a scholarship to all the national team players that wanted to go to LU or to go to Cottington. And I was able to penetrate the radar to be able to get my track athlete on the payroll at the Ministry of Finance. And I also made a hustle, we call it, lobbying for my athletes to get scholarships at BWI, at some of the high schools in Monrovia, and to put them on medical insurance at the city clinic on Broad Street at the time. So those were some of the things that I was able to do. But in decentralizing the sport, it means that you have to start with the high schools. You have to start with the high school, because there where sports belong. In the high school, it's an educational discipline. It's an educational discipline. And they also help the children or the students to learn leadership, fair play in life. no cheating in the game, and no cheating in life. That's what sport does. And infrastructure, number two, infrastructure. And thanks to the just past government under former President George Weah, I see the Invisible Sport Park. I see the Freedom Sport Park at PHP. I see the Newtown soccer fee. I see the Tusa fee in my area, Gardnersville. And then the Doris Williams Sports Stadium in Buchanan, Grand Bassa County. And I think during the county meet, I heard the former mayor of Liberia, Jefferson Kwaji, saying that if Lofa County wins the county meet, I will build the new stadium in Vonyama. I was clapping for him. But this is what the government needs to do: infrastructure. Let's look at the model of Jamaica. Jamaica is a third world country, but they put more emphasis on school sports, and that's what makes them a superpower now in track and field. Every community you go in Jamaica, you will see something about track ground there, and they just put the soccer post there for formality, but they attract people, you know. So Liberia can do the same thing, you know,
Well,
build infrastructures in the 15 counties so the kids can be able to play sports after school. And that's the only way also Liberia will be able to move the children from the street. We did that. We were supposed to be in the street, but sport attracted us. We left the street, and sports gave us scholarship. And some of us who had the A plus brain, we were able to use sports to tutor other athletes that made it. Because I had a program on BWR at the time I was there, no athlete left behind. And when I came, I saw that program here with former President George Bush, no child left behind. You know,
so
yeah,
then I would say, Coach Soko,
yes, sir.
I want to get back to the question posed earlier. Um, with all of these things, all of these investment, is there anything that we can reference today as Liberians to say we achieved this through the entire process? Any medal from the track and field, any trophy that was won by the Lone Star, or anything that we can point to today to say, hey, use that as a motivation in to get to that point as well? Is there anything that we can reference, or we just haven't gotten to that point yet?
My recollection is in 1979. The Six Nation tournament was organized at the Antoinette Tottenham Stadium under President Talbot. And that was when Liberia won the trophy. And like I said before, everybody was anticipating for Guinea to win that trophy because they had this player called Papa Kamara. He
Mhm.
was the best player in Africa, and they thought he was just coming to roll over the Liberian Lone Star, and it didn't happen. Lone Star won that game, and the crowd was so enthusiastic until one side of the stadium almost came down, you know, under President Talbot. President Talbot did extremely well. I understand he was the one that was instrumental in even bringing the Waniboto to Liberia. You know, that's a different story for
So the fact that you mentioned it, I would like to the fact that you mentioned it, we heard of the one in Bodo thing. Is that a real person? And
Yeah,
if so,
Waniboto.
who
Waniboto is a real person, but I didn't see him. You know, my father saw him with I think his uncle's son David Momo, the one that Queen Elizabeth invited to London, and they
Mhm.
told him to stay there to play for England. He refused, and he came back to Liberia because at the time the Portuguese had gone to South Africa. They got this Mozambican Eusebio, who went to Portugal and played for Portugal and almost won the World Cup. I think they were beaten by England in the semifinal. And today he has a statue at the Portugal stadium in his honor. Eusebio was the first Ballon d'Or winner from Africa. But he became a Portuguese, so he not too recognized on the African continent as the African Ballon d'Or winner. But he was the first Ballon d'Or winner in my recollection.
President Weah wasn't the first Ballon d'Or winner. That's what you just alluded to.
President Weah is the first African Ballon d'Or winner. Like I said, Eusebio became a Portuguese
Well, okay, so
national.
what in that case though, President Weah then also became a French national, didn't he?
Well, I don't know that. I
Okay,
know President Weah is a Liberian. He
okay,
has a Liberian passport.
okay,
Okay, and at the time we never had no dual citizenship thing, so
okay.
I can't really reference that. But I know from my recollection
Hmm.
that Eusebio from
Hmm.
Mozambique was one of the first Africans to go to Europe and,
Hmm.
and, and play. And as far as the World Cup, he was the highest scorer in that World Cup at the time, and
Wow.
he almost went to the final. But what they did was that they scheduled the game so many miles away from where where the Portuguese team was. So they drove, I think, 1.5 day to get to the stadium. They were just worn out, which was not too fair to them. But that's sports politics. But that's what I do know. That Eusebio from Mozambique, okay, became a Portuguese citizen and played in the World Cup, and he won the Ballon d'Or.
As a coach, Mr. Soko, what was your most difficult moment dealing with athletes? What was it that you can remember to say, I don't want to have to go through this again?
Well, I don't really know because I grew up in it,
Hmm.
and it was part of my passion.
Okay.
I love it, so I didn't see any difficulty as difficulty. I just picked it up and rolled with it. But one of my disappointment was
Mhm.
1992 when we were preparing to go to Spain for the Barcelona Olympic. We had prepared to the finish, and all of a sudden, the Liberian track athletes could not get the ticket to fly to Barcelona. And it was very, very disappointing. We were not able to go to Barcelona to put the Liberian flag up. It was
Why?
very disappointing to me.
Why weren't they able to get their tickets though?
It was politics driven at the time. Um, Somebody in the in the Liberia National Olympic Committee did not play his or her part to get the tickets for the athletes. However, it was only, I think, the boxer, Stubberfee, Stewart, I think, and two other guys made it to Barcelona, and the track athletes were left behind. That hurt me so much because can you imagine 4 years of preparation to go to one game, and all of a sudden you are cut off, and it is not the International Olympic Committee, it is your Olympic Committee. Okay, and I was just disappointed in them.
So the issue of, sports being undermined didn't just start today because I want to reference today as we look at the soccer in Liberia. The previous president, a Ballon d'Or winner, today Liberia is far behind in soccer, and here we are again. We're talking about track and field, something that you coach and you are very passionate about. We can point where we have gone with it. Nothing, no medal, nothing. What's going on? What can we do to motivate the athletes to show some encouragement as to how far we can move Liberia forward with sports?
Um, what I would say, the former president, Ambassador George Weah,
Hmm.
he did extremely well for Liberian sports in general, and soccer being at the top. Can you imagine Liberia at the time we only had that Anthony Tubman Stadium? And like I said, the sport is not decentralized. Not all the kids in Liberia got access to sports. It was through George Weah the public eye began to open in sports. They used to call us Grenada boys. They used to call us Grenada boys. point finger at us. But when he rose to prominence through his coach that I used to know from Liberia, he managed to go to Cameroon to play for Yaoundé, Tonnerre Yaoundé something. When he played for that team, he was spotted by Roger Milla, and Roger Milla managed to get him to Monaco. And it was through Monaco, I would say it was blessing from God, because George Weah was not supposed to play anything over there. Where did he come from? Liberia. Who knew Liberia at the time? Liberia had not won any international award in soccer and track and field, including basketball, besides the African tournament that Janje went to and won the decathlon. We have not won any Olympic medal, but we are getting closer. We are getting closer because we were opportune to have brought the sport of track and field to the diaspora. So you find most of the diaspora athletes now are gravitating towards track, and they are gravitating towards the American football, one of whom is in Monrovia now, Alvin Kamara, who plays for the New Orleans Saints, number 41.
Right.
He's a he's a superstar here, you know. So George Weah was able to put a lot of finances in Liberian soccer and sport as a whole. It was an eye opener to us that if this man can do it in soccer, we can do it in other sports as well. Okay, it was only in tennis that my recollection picked up that Liberia was able to win international award through John Smoker from Firestone and Dr. Togba Natipote, who was the African champion, sometime I think Liberia champion for tennis. They used to come to Firestone at the time. So John Smoker was the one that put us on the international map. He went to Lebanon and beat all the people in the tennis tournament, and he was from Firestone. And we also have good players in boxing. We have good players in basketball, table tennis. Robert Jackley, the older brother of David Jackley, who is now in Rhode Island. Okay, and then we have boxer like Nathaniel Jeffrey, who beat a boxer from Sierra Leone. Okay, but nowadays all those activities have just been shrink to only soccer. Okay, which also is not a good thing for our country. If we continue to only focus on soccer and leave the other sports, including the individual sports, Liberia is not going to reach to where we want to get on the social and developmental map.
Coach Soko, serve as an advisor to the Ministry of Youth and Sports. How can we move the needle from where it is today to where you would envision Liberia contributing immensely in sport? Just give us an advice. What would you do if you were to serve as an advisor to move the issue and the concern of sports in Liberia, not just soccer, but sports in general? What would be your advice?
Okay, I will advise the minister to appeal or write the lawmakers to be able to pass a bill for a national sport development tax. Every worker in Liberia should pay monthly $10. Every small business should pay $100 yearly as their contribution, and bigger company pay $1,000 or more for that sport development tax. Meaning government should invest in sport like it is done here in America. I serve as the commissioner of Wisconsin Track and Field, and we are comprised of 6.5 million people here. And Annually, we are able to get across 20 to 50,000 athletes annually. And that's a lot of money that come into the state. So if we pass a bill in Liberia for a sport development tax, that money will go across to all sports. And government should be able to decentralize the sporting activities. The kids in the interior, they want to play sport, but the sport is not reaching there. Sports is not reaching there. When I say sport, I don't mean football alone. I mean basketball, volleyball, track and field, lawn tennis. Before it used to be there. It used to be there. Okay, but all of a sudden, when the coup took place in 1980, all those sports just shrank. Now we got only basketball, football, and kickball. And kickball is not an international sport. It's only recognized in Liberia. And we have been advocating for kickball to become an international sport. But if you don't have a document or proposed document to the International Olympic Committee and the African Federation of Sports, they will not recognize your event. And I've been saying that since I was at the Ministry of Youth and Sports in 1984 up to today. Kickball is not an international discipline. And we have gone to refugee camp. We took kickball there. Why we couldn't play kickball in those countries like Guinea? You play the kickball in all the schools. Guinea recognize it. In Ivory Coast, you play kickball in all the schools. Ivory Coast recognize it. You play in Gambia, you play in Ghana. Then from there, the African Confederation of Sports, you can appeal to them that we want to continentalize this sport. And this is how we want to demonstrate it. They will accept it. But if it is not in black and white, they're not going to accept it. Even they can see the kids playing, they will not accept it. So I think anybody in kickball listening to me now, you can do that. You know, I was working at the Ministry of Youth and Sport. I worked there for 15 years before I came to the States. I used to talk to the kickball people. I say, you're trying to make this discipline an African and international discipline. But it didn't work. So I hope they will hear me this time.
Coach Soko, will you consider going back into coaching? Are you out of coaching now as we speak? Are you still coaching, or you just kind of off and on? Is this like
I coach youth track now because I was coaching at the college. I was the head coach of the college, Madison Technical College.
Okay.
Yeah, I was the head coach, and then they appointed me as commissioner, and I became commissioner for 5 years before I went to graduate school to get my master's.
Who's? I mean, currently, do we even have a track and field coach in Liberia?
Yes, we have. I think there's one Cooper, Coach Cooper.
Will you consider?
But again, I got it down as training of coaches. That's one of our problems in Liberia. You know, most of the coaches are not educated. They are not educated. The highest they can go is 12th grade. Some of them 9th grade. And you can't be that low and then you say you want to compete on the global level. So I will appeal to the Ministry of Youth and Sports to train our coaches. Train our coaches, the cream that are cream or the top coaches, send them to Kenya, send them to Nigeria, send them to Ghana, and send them to Europe, where they have the broader aspect of the program, which I went to in Hungary, the way I got my degree from Hungary. So if you train the coaches and the coaches come back home, they will be able to educate our kids. For example, in track and field, okay, if you ask a coach right now in Liberia, how do you calculate velocity? Okay, the athlete is running with velocity. Okay, how do you calculate velocity? He doesn't know. How do you calculate speed? How do you calculate distance? And how do you measure a pound to kilo? How do you convert it? You see, because if you look at the SKD complex there, the track around that track is 400 meters. And if you divide that track into half diagonally, one side would be 200, the other side is 200. And if you divide that 200 into a half, it will be 100 meters. That's how you see the athlete run the straight. Okay. And there are certain level of training that goes into what you do for the athlete or with the athlete to make that athlete to be a very good athlete to run. So we need to train our coaches on all levels, on the national level, on the county level, on the district level, and the schools. Bottom line, the school level. I can remember in the 70s and the early 80s, Liberia has sent the PE instructors to Israel. They got trained there and they came back as the LNYO, Liberia National Youth Organization, we used to call them at the time. Those were the people that I went to, I recruited them and retrained them and certificated them to become track coaches. Along with the national track athlete, I sent them to the schools to go and recruit the track athlete for the national school meet. And that's how I became successful. In 1995, I was able to convince the International Olympic Committee and the IAAF to have the first track and field coaching course in Liberia. And we were able to graduate 75 coaches and certificated them. And I was hoping that program was going to continue.
All right. Here's what we're going to do, Coach Soko. We're going to open up the phone lines to give people the opportunity to chime in here. I know Bill Roger is interested in joining us. He's claimed to be struggling a little bit with the link. There you go.
Okay.
We now have Bill Rogers who just joined us. Mr. Rogers, welcome. We will open up the phone lines to give people the opportunity to interact with Coach Soko. But while we open up the phone line, let's just welcome now Professor Rogers. Wow. Congratulations, by the way, Professor Rogers.
Hi, Bill. Congratulations on your preferment.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. I'm with Mr. Kevin Soko, one of the veteran and legendary of all time. I want to say I'm grateful to be on the show. Thank you, Lopa, for inviting me with the invitation here.
Right. And Mr. Roger, this is not your debut on here because you've been here. We interacted before, but I want you to just introduce yourself to our audience. Tell us a little bit about yourself and just give hopefully a brief summary of who Bill Rogers is and the impact that you've made in on track and field, in sports in general, and what got you into that in the first place. Your story is one that is remarkable. I always remember your story every time you tell it, and I'm grateful that you are always willing to tell your story. So welcome, and let's hear from you.
Well, I just want to make sure that what the impact sport made for me.
Okay.
I didn't make impact in sport. Sport made an impact on me.
Wow.
And I can say yes. I can attest to it that one of the testimony. I know Coach Soko had give all the historical background. He's the veterans as well. My pen here would be to inspire the next generation that coming after to follow. And I'm saying that today I'm grateful to be called Bill Rogers again in Liberia, for people to know who is this young man. And I didn't know anything regarding sport or anything regarding education as well. I grew up, I sent myself to school. As you know my story, I don't want to take the people time, but those who didn't know me from the background and how I get into the sport arena and where today's sport had delivered me and bring me this far. with the young men that were kidnapped in Liberia, destroyed, left in the bush to die, chop my toes, and left in the bush to die at the age of 7 years old. And but it's happened for a purpose. I wonder if that didn't happen to me, where would I be today? And I also had a chance to run cross country. I ran my first mile 356 with a toe that the chap. I've been running track. If you check on Google, I was very young with a foot at the chap. I set the first 1,500 meter record in Liberia, 4:01, right on our track. And I went to Ghana and Togo, Benin. I won a bronze medal, silver medal for Liberia. But that didn't come just overnight. And I had the opportunity to get discovered, to transfer to Kenya, where I trained professionally on a high development training camp in Nairobi, Kenya, in the place called Eldoret, where the home of champions live. And living from Liberia, I thought I was the toughest person in Liberia, but when I arrived in Kenya, girls were beating me on the track. And that motivated me. I like, what? And one day, my coach, Paul Aaron, who is the world Olympic record holder, in the 800 meter world record holder, he drew the diagram. He told me, Bill, you are young, and these girls that have been running for record ages in town, this is all they do in this Kenya. That's their schooling. I said, wow. So that motivated me. I started to pursue my hope to aspire to be where I am today. So Ismail Ahmed, Sudanese gold medalist from Sudan, is my roommate. We both used to train together 24 hours. And I realized that no woman can beat me right now. I got to continue to train. My target was to how can I get out of the women category to get in the guys category? It was a very worrisome for me, but I continued to determine, continue to fight. And by that time, no one knew what is in my foot. No one knew what was in my shoes.
Wow.
So I determined, I got away from that category. I joined the men category. There's no girls could beat me in Kenya. I got my girl, Jonah Goske, and all different athletes from different countries. We all were together. But Bill just grew up from Liberia, and a man who found himself get a chance to go to school. Elizabeth Crawford went to Lameda and the Salvation Army school system. And I was discovered by Grace Denkin, one of course Kevin and Kevin product, where he discovered in LU way back. She discovered me because I was passionate and I was very skinny. I sent you the pictures that a white guy discovered me on the beach. And I said I wanted to run. Everybody started to knock my finger down. They said, skinny man like you, tiny man like you going to make it? Man, sit down. That hurt me, man. So I said, I want to run. The people think because I used to be phony. I said, I wanted to run track. The people didn't make it. One, Mr. Waddle. I don't know Miss Kevin Simway know Waddle. Mr. Waddle, one bright, slim man. And I forget his name, but he knew Mr. Waddle. He came in the classroom trying to discover from high school. I think that's where they found me. And I tried a shot. I started to like this sport. I started running track. I put Limit on the map. From there, my talent was discovered. I was sent to Kenya, Nairobi, by Cape Chorky Kendall, where he treated me like a father, John Vesson, all the great Olympic athletes. And Mr. Ure, Clemenceau Ure, gave me the chance for the Olympic Day run as well. Yeah, Bill Rogers discovered my talent, and since then, I never take my talent to be granted. And wow. I utilize it very forcefully and with passion, with gut, with everything 110% on the track. And I landed in the United States and Los Angeles, Redondo Beach. I started breaking that saying, running on the beach through the effort of Dr. Grace Ann Denkin, who gave me the opportunity to just visit the U.S. Then I got in the bus. I got lost in Los Angeles, but I found a school. I wanted to run on a local track.
Wow.
Then I entered the track, The coach look, I mean, what you doing here? Then the kid said, he said, do you want to run? Just a joking. I said, yes, I want to try, but not today. I don't have a shoes. He said, okay, we'll give you shoes. I was already in a great shape coming from Kenya, but I went to try my legs and if my foot, everything were okay because I came for injury, preparing for the championship.
Oh, I think Bill is having some issue on that. Bill, can you hear us? I think he's kind of glitching. All right. While Bill is trying to get back with us, Mr. Soko, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, great. Let's take this caller on the line. Caller, your name and where you calling from. Let's hear from you.
Thank you very much. Look, this is Rivers Pro. How you doing, brother?
Hey, I'm hanging in there, boss man. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, thank you to the guest. I heard Soko, I can call him Mr. Soko was talking about the Jamaican talents, you know, with their like they have the, you know, they got a program back home, a little program, you know, that prepare them. But I also want us to know, we need to acknowledge the fact that a lot of those Jamaican sprinters, those athletes, like I said in the comments, they all were not homegrown. Some of them were born in the United States. Some of them came in the United States at a very young age. And then what they did is they represented their country in those areas, in those competitions. Jamaica has won more gold as far as the Commonwealth Games are concerned. So one of my suggestions is, Lofa, I don't think, and to Mr. Sokoto, I don't think the homegrown talents in Liberia, since we don't have the facilities, we need to encourage our children, like speaking like Lofa Jr. that is playing football. And you know, I got a question for you too, Lofa, but let me complete this. To encourage our children who are in the elected area in the United States, instead of representing the United States, to represent Liberia. Because let's look at the competition. Now, I'm not trying to bring our children down, but the possibility of them, you know, making it on a lot of these American, Olympic teams or track teams. I mean, it's because the competition is very high. Whereas when they represent Liberia, look like that's what happened in Europe. A lot of the Nigerian soccer players, the Ghanaian, some of them went there and they naturalized as French, as British. But when they look at the competition, the possibility of them making a national team over there, so what they did, they switch allegiance and they go back to play for their country, but they are still French and British citizens. So I think we need to encourage that. So my question to you, Lofa, Lofa Jr., I know he plays football, I don't know if he plays basketball or other sport. If he decided to say, well, I want to switch allegiance, you know, if he was in any capacity or sport that is represented in Liberia, is that something you would encourage to say, well, you say, you know what, I want to represent Liberia, even though, you know, I was born in the United States, but I see the need to represent Liberia in those games. Is that something that you, as a parent, is that something that you would encourage?
Of course, River says, you're welcome. Before I bring in Mr. Soko and even Bill, let me just say I will be the first to answer that. I've always encouraged my son, Julius, if opportunity, reveals itself for him to hopefully represent my country of birth. I've always said this to him, but we don't have football in Liberia. Okay, we have soccer. Where will he actually find himself? He's running track, though. Yes, that is true that Julius runs track, but will the society be as open to Julius being a part of it as compared to what we see? Remember, we have politicized everything to the extent where it appears as though it's us versus them. When you're in the United States, the people think like, oh, you know, they want hands-off approach. They don't want you to be a part of the process. So yes, then I mean, just to be concise with my answer, yes, if Julius succeeds and he wants to represent Liberia in the Olympics, as a matter of fact, I would be the first to beg him to please do that for Liberia. I would be the first to say, please do that. But again, would the society be receptive and encourage this idea? There are a lot of Liberian athletes in the United States. Do we support them? Do we encourage them? Those are some of the things we need to look at. But Mr. Soko and Bill, welcome back. We apologize about the
Lofa Julius.
Yeah.
Can I speak to that?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. Yes. The problem here is us in Liberia. We don't recognize the effort of the diaspora athletes. For example, if a diaspora athlete is very talented and wants to go to represent his country and going to Monrovia over there, they will want to play politics out of it, and he will get disappointed. And these kids that are here, they are very sensitive. So you don't play politics with them, they'll just pull back. For example, I will not give you Liberia example. Cameroon, Kylian Mbappe. Okay, this is a boy who Cameroon refused for him to play for the Cameroon national team, the Lions. His father communicated in Cameroon for him to join the Cameroon national team. You know what they say? They say he should pay money before Kylian Mbappe could be recruited on the national team. And the man said, no, I can't do that. My son wants to play for my country, and you're telling me I'm going to pay money before he can play? That's how Kylian Mbappe played for France. And believe me, it has happened to so many athletes. Let's go back to Jamaica. Okay, Jamaica came on the limelight, on the spotlight in 1948. Okay, after World War II, they took part in the Olympics, and the fellow was in the army. He won the Jamaica gold medal in the 400 meter. So the world recognized Jamaica, that island has a lot of talent. And the lady who opened the eyes of the Jamaican female, that lady, she rode a boat to go to the Olympics. She didn't go by plane. When she got to the Olympics, she was sick, and the people told her not to run. She said, I will represent my island, the Jamaica. And she did it. Today, she's a legend. And that's one of our problems also. We don't respect and recognize our legend. We don't have Hall of Famers. The old people that play the sport, where are their photos? In a hall that I can go to. You go to the museum right now on Broad Street, you're not going to see Wani Boto picture there. You're not going to see David Momo picture there. You're not going to see Santos Maria picture there. And believe me, 20 to 50 years from now, they will now recognize George Weah, the Ballon d'Or winner, 1995. Because you don't have anything for him. And thanks to the young fellow Tricon Quick, who had the invisible park and built that small little thing and put George Weah Puma shoes in there and his photo and thing for our children to remember and our grandchildren to remember. So we need to do these things to be able to build our sport. Let us recognize our former players. Let us cherish them. Then the future will be brighter for us.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Mr. Rogers, welcome back. I want to start off. I don't know if you heard the comment from from the caller, but I want to start off just for clarity, right? I'm having people sending me messages and asking, "Is this the Bill Roger?" Yes, this is the Bill Roger. Now,
this is the Bill Roger.
that I want to pose to you. So, Mr. Rogers, you decided to get into track and field, even though your toes, excuse me for reminding you, I hope they don't come across, but they had caught your toe, right? They caught your toe, but then you were safe. And then you still chose to run track.
Right.
Wow. I mean,
toes.
Two of them or just one? Two toes?
Two.
What was I'm sorry that I don't mean to put you back in memory lane, but what was the reason? Was it because of the war that they attempted to cut your toes, or what was the reason behind that incident?
I will not tell you the reason. I have no reason. It was just people who wanted to be wicked. It was not about war, but people who just decided to do what they do because they said they wanted to take my toes away. According to the story, when I grew up, and one of my uncles told me that he was best that they wanted to kill me. My uncle recently told me, said they wanted to kill me. and that's why he got so angry. But they wanted to take the body part, and I care to do something with it, and which less than and some which behaviors as well in Liberia, but I don't know. So it was just a day, but I'm glad that I'm safe. Women found me in the forest and laying down. There was no car. They transport me with wheelbarrow. Lay down, my eyes think different. I thought that I was gone, I couldn't remember, recognize anyone. And I got to the hospital, and they tried. I was seeing that they were singing a joyful song and the spiritual songs that make me to stay where I am today, giving me hope. But I saw women with lapel clothes, and they were crying, and other women when we reached in the middle of the road that I was tested, I have no way to go, and they stopped and they were tired pushing that wheelbarrow, this icon. Then the car, a white car, stopped with oranges and bananas and stuff like that. And other women saw me, they started crying, everybody started shouting. And some people got off the middle of the road and they allowed me to get in the car and they transported me to Phoebe Hospital in Liberia. I wonder today, the women and other people who got off the car, how did they get home? That's where my goodness come from. They left in the middle of the road to give a child a chance to live.
They got out of the car for you to be transported to the hospital.
Yes. That's why today I changed and I give him back to my country. And they got off. Keep wondering how did they got home. Up to now, I've never found that answer. And they gave me the chance when we got to the hospital. There were no medical personnel on shift, only the nurse area. They were fighting to see what they can do, confused. But the person was things on me. They tried to see my toes. My toes were in a bottle. They tried to secure my toes, but they were in a bottle. They were trying the medical procedures to see how best they can secure, but that was the wrong method. Right now, where I know the difference, I wish they had an ice, to keep it, to keep the cell, but there was no way. When they put in the bottle, that means that destroyed my toes, the cells, everything got damaged, and there was no way to attach it. The doctor came in the middle of the night, I think, and they tried to attach it, no equipment as well. So I was still alive, and my body had been buried in Liberia, but that didn't give me the chance to stop where I am today. And it gave me the opportunity to be brave, to be strong, to be mentally tough and see what I can do. I wanted to play soccer, but sometimes they never put me on the soccer pitch. And my friends just be laughing at me when they see me. I realized that I get a story that one lady saw me walking, no shoes, nothing. She stopped and gave me all her oranges as well. I said, why she give me her oranges? And because I think she saw my toe. And so people used to call me iron toes, this toes, iron toe, they tease me, But I was still finding a way that I wanted to play soccer. I wanted to put me on the field. They say, iron toes coming, iron toe coming. I don't know what they're talking about. But I never be shy. I was still determined. We're consistent, persistent, what I wanted to do. I become good on the soccer, but sometimes they can't put me, but they put me on the field. Sometimes they'll ask me to jog around the stadium, jog. I will be jogging until the game finish. That's how wicked these guys will know, but it's not a wickedness. They were giving me a career. So I would be jogging around the field until the game finished and they start laughing. Sometimes they put me in for only 2 minutes, boom, the whistle blow. I can't even touch a ball. That's how some Liberians are wicked, but the wickedness has transformed me to be good, to see how best they give me another hope and give me another transformational mindset to be where I am. But Judah, the story is not the end yet.
Right.
The story continues because now I came to Liberia, so Planet Cheese, Junior Biscuit, found my way in schools, and I still used to love soccer. They drive me with a cut of soccer to go to Elizabeth Crawford Memorial School. I sat down in the class where I don't know the right present and absent, and the teacher beat me for the first time in classroom, like you sitting down with Coach Soko. He said, Jeremy, Coach Soko said absent for, and Lofa Julian. Somebody say present for Coach Soko. They confusing my brain with the English language. I say absent. the teacher brought me or the beat me severely. So I wanted to know what is the importance behind the educational journey that they beat me. That was another chance of a hope to discover myself, to
So
discover.
I'm sorry, Bill. Let me just get the clarity here. So you enter class for the first time, and then the teacher was calling roll, and
Yeah.
you didn't understand what it meant to say absent or present. So you were only following everybody else, and so
Yeah.
you said absent, and he thought that you were being rude. So he whooped you for
Yeah.
saying absent when you were present.
That was a disaster that I caused. I was, but not just following anybody. Those that took me to the classroom, that thinking that I believe in, and they're sitting down, but they're answering for somebody else that didn't show up in classroom. They call my partner right sitting down, me and say absent and present. In what's going on? So I'm still Bill. I say absent. The teacher saw me that I've been very, very disrespectful, and they brought me, they beat me up to now. I still have some mark on my back, 25 latches. So I wanted to know the importance of education. I tried to sell ginger biscuit, plenty chip, petty and biscuit, everything where I used to sew on the street and I make everything happen. I started joining the camera crew, started taking photo pictures, arranging things. But now I found my way and get to the school. Yeah, I am today. I want to just cut it short.
Right.
And I found myself in Kenya, Nairobi, training, going to school in Nairobi. Yeah, I am jump started all the way to the United States in Beverly Hill, Los Angeles. Who the child who want to enter Beverly Hill and leave Los Angeles? No child. I can guarantee you, no single child one day they say, wow, I was living the life driving the best car because I had a good sponsor, medical doctor who cannot sleep in her own home, consistently working to save life. I was in that home by myself by the beach, living the
Wow.
best that I could do, but continue to train because I have one mindset to train because I know I left people back home in Liberia. They left me with something that they believe in me. I know I have to do something. I don't come here for the eyes of Beverly Hill. Many people come to the United States will have many goals. Some come for shoes, some come for cars, some come for babies, some come for everything. But I know that I came for and a mission accomplished to inspire the young generation after what the future hold for Liberian youth and the Athletics Federation as well. And that's why I continue to persist in myself, position in the way that I can inspire. If I didn't get a chance to win a gold medal, when I saw my name on the 2004 Olympic list, that was a wind blow for me. I went back to Liberia to go to the Olympic. The Secretary General just listed my name and they took me to the embassy. He didn't send no letter because I came from the US. I have a fresh scholarship here in the United States. So he said, we already sent a letter to the American embassy. They agree everything when you go to the Olympic, then before you go to the US. So I wanted to get everything straightened out to be understandable that we're on the same page. I asked him, so help me God, he's gone, Mr. Cody. He said, I said, let me see the letter. He never read a letter. So I said, I want to go to the game, but let me see the letter to have a guarantee that when I come back from the Olympic game, I have my chance to go back to the US to study. He said, oh, the letter is good, Bill, let's just go. So I wanted to see the letter. So the letter didn't show up, and he didn't send me a letter to the embassy, to the American embassy. So I came to the United States and I boycotted the game for the reason of Mr. Ure, and then for them misleading me as well. Then I came back, I took the scholarship opportunity. But I didn't just show up, I didn't just left just the way. I added somebody on my name called Gladys Thompson. Now she's in Spain now. I said, if I cannot go, let somebody else replace me. That's how I didn't participate, and I boycotted the game, came to the United States and go to UCLA, big university where everybody, like the classroom so big, I don't even know what's happening here again. Is another person of asking because I can see the teacher speaking, only computer will be speaking to me and the music. So I said, no, there is not a place for me. I ran away from that place. I went to Redondo Beach, PA area, a little school called El Camino College. I found myself standing by the track, and the coach said, you want to try? I tried, and I won. And I won, and the children began to love me because I did my part in the 400-meter repetition. I started doing 58, 58, 58, 58. So from there, I got a full scholarship, but I still have a game to go back to Togo and Benin to run for Liberia. I rejected that offer, and I went back to Liberia. I accomplished my mission in Togo and Benin. I won the bronze medal and the silver medal in the 800 and 1500 meter. Then I came back to the United States. Then I found another opportunity to take El Paso, where I got a track and field scholarship. I went there. I graduated 2007. Then I found a scholarship to Lubbock Christian University. But it place looked like a desert. I said, no, man, coming from Bethel Hill, coming back to Lubbock, I thought I was in Africa. I said, no. Then I switched. I got an opportunity to come to Austin, Texas, where I learned by Leo Mazzano. I wanted to run with him. And I came here, I got a scholarship.
Oh, man. Bill got another technical issue here.
Okay, can I jump in there?
Yeah, please jump in, Mr. Soko. Bill.
Okay, to answer our caller other question about
hello.
Okay.
So I am today, not because of the Olympic game, the track and field, but how well I utilize the power of sports to transform my life and to be where I am today. That's why I continue to be persistent in what I do and 100% believe in the power and the influence of sport that has left a great impact in my life. That I'm down in the dream when Bill Rogers is no more, somebody will remember this name ever in the history of Liberia. Now today, not just I came to HT, Houston Tellison University. I volunteered my service for 10 good years. No one seeing my talent, no one discovering what is young, but all the young people that I trained, track and field, soccer. But one day I said I wanted to play soccer on HT campus. The coach didn't even have the chance to put me in no. But one day he was so upset, very upset, with one of his best players. And he gave me the chance to say, Bill, go in to make his player upset. He said, let Bill get in. That was the day my coaching career discovered. I was so blessed, not to say I'm a good soccer player, but one of the best players came close to me. I don't know what God put in me. I just turned, I did the ball for them. Yeah, I do Segimo. You know, I said Segimo, the man dropped. Before the ball came, I hit the net. Right away, the coach said, whoa, Bill, I had some skill. But because I remember in my brain, when they tell the child that you are not good in something because you have a limitation, I try to destroy those barriers. Because my limitation, I didn't allow it to stop me. That's why I chose the individual sport, to break down the barriers of that I can do anything that is possible. All those disability young people in Liberia that I know we have the potential that we can unlock it. Today, then I started coaching the school. I said, I don't want to play soccer, but I can help to coach because you know that I have something to offer. So I started doing everything. Then I became the assistant coach. I coached throughout, and I did everything that I could do. 2018, a man came there, discovered my talent, and said, Bill, you are so good in what you do. You want to go to college to go and study? I said, yes, I want to go, but I'm still coaching yet. So 2020, when the Ebola crisis came, I took advantage. I wanted to speak to the school. Right away, I got a full scholarship in Angeles State University, a white institution. They gave me the full scholarship. I went there. 11 months, I did sport management, sport administration, and higher education in a combined blow. I sold my car, sold everything. I sat down there for 11 months. I earned my master's successfully in the sport administration, recreation, fitness, and higher education. Today, went back to New York. I got an offer to New York, to the youth department in the place. They did my criminal background check, everything, hired me, everything. I received a call from Houston Tellison University to return, and they have an offer for me. And I didn't know. The offer was to be a professor, which would never been my dream in the United States. I never thought that I was going to be a professor because where I came from, the background, where they say our educational system will break down, it's a mess. No one believes in any child as well, that no education. So I never thought that I'm going to be a professor in the United States. This is came by the luck and by the chance and the blessing by God. You know what I'm saying? So I talk about this since I entered the classroom 2021, no one had come to shadow me in that classroom. They just put me inside the classroom and they showed me no way. I tried to figure it out. I did everything. I learned my computer skill to do the grading system as well. And now I just become the best professor of the university.
Wow.
Winning the trophy. Being the best professor of the university, that was a shock to me, and it's the gold medal that I failed to win for Liberia. That is the gold medal that I gave my country, Liberia. I won the academic gold medal for Liberia, and I know I want every child to listen to see that they can uncover and believe in the talent, and the talent can set them apart. During my interview, for the job interview, they said, "What can Bill Rogers bring on the field in this classroom, or what can you add to the institution?" I said, I have been adding value to the institution from day one. If you look in your HR book, if you see compensation for $50, don't hire me. I have delivered from the darkness, sunshine, rainfall, snow. I have been recruiting for this institution. I have recruited international students in the institution that have given birth to the institution, won championship 2012. I have stand with the institution for all costs, and everything that I've done, I never asked the institution. If you hire me, you have strengthened my goal, you have strengthened and empowered me, and I will make the difference. So now today, the school just discovered that they have a child in the institution. The talent can be right underneath your feet, but your eye jump over the talent. That's a message from the president of the university that discovered me, say, give Bill the chance. Bill deserves the job. All the 15 doctors in the building, they all recommended me. They say he is the candidate for the job. We have no doubt. If the young man can work for 10 years with no down payment, and he have the gut to serve with a smile, then today, to be a professor, it take you 10 years. But my 10 years that I was thinking that it was a waste, it was a success. That's all my darkness, my day that has set me back. It has been the progress for my development today in the United States. Today, my 10 years, it enrolled me strictly to full-time professor, not the adjunct professor, not the associate professor. I have the full authority to tell the student, go home, never enter my classroom. No one going to dictate to that decision that I take. It's a God. But I utilize, I'm not abusing it. I utilize the power of the struggle that I passed through to let the young people in the United States know an African man teaching you. I came from a strong background where there was nothing. No child is believing in this educational power. But today, the US have built me out. Now I believe it. Allow me to invest in you because the American had trained me to be who I am today. Fairness, consistency, determination, and classroom management. I did a lot of homework, voluntary services in high schools. So classroom management, I have it. I may not be the best, but I have a good structures to hold the young people accountable and give them my assignment where they all excited to participate equally and everyone is set free with transparency. Students have failed in my class with an F and they still come back and return and they say they want to sit in my classroom. And they still go ahead and vote for me to be one of the professors. That dropped tears from my eye.
Wow. Thank you, Bill. Thank you so much. Again, guys, I'm sorry. I really wish we had much more time, but we have another program that is supposed to be coming on here shortly. So we're just going to talk about this. Hopefully next week.
Lofa.
Go ahead, Mr. Zuko.
Yeah, can I come in and learn? Yeah, to our caller. His second question about African athletes and athletes from Jamaica coming here and going to American University and then making it up to the top there. I agree with him, but partially because it was through Arthur Wint in the 1948 Olympics that he made a mark for Jamaica. That's how the world recognized Jamaica at the highest level of track and field. And Marilyn Otepe, okay, right now, that lady in Jamaica, She ran her last track meet in 1996 at the Olympic in Atlanta. And I saw her, that lady, when she walking in Jamaica on the street, they treat her like a queen. So Liberia, we want to help from the diaspora. We want to help. But the problem with Liberia, our athletes are not meeting the standard. Our athletes are not meeting the standard, and you can't blame them. That's what I said. The government need to invest in the sport. For instance, the national team. Okay, you put all the national team players on salary. Let them get something at the end of the month. You put it on medical, insurance. That when they get wounded, they can go to a small clinic to get treated because nobody wants to get wounded, and it's psychological. If I don't have medical insurance, I go on the field. Suppose I get hurt, and that's the reason why most of the diaspora athletes that play the higher level in Europe and America, they don't want to go home to represent Liberia. Should in case that person break his leg or get wounded very seriously, what is he going to be benefiting from at the end of the day? So Liberia needs to invest in those areas. Before I land, I gave an athlete in Liberia a scholarship, a female athlete, I will not call the name, to go to BWI. She said she wanted to do heavy duty mechanics. I said, go there, I will pay your school fee. She went to BWI, but she flunked at BWI. She was not serious because sport, you got to play sport and go to school. It's 50-50. Here in America, that's the same way we treat sport here. If you come here on scholarship, you got to go to class and make the grade. And you got to be on the field every day to practice and to participate in the meet. That is where our athletes from Liberia, they fail. They go to school. When they come from school, they're tired. They don't want to go on the field. And the coach will report to the school that you're not reporting for practice. And definitely, they're going to cut you off the scholarship program. So that's my fear. I don't want to get in that area where I will bring an athlete from Liberia to come here to go on scholarship, and then you can't go on the track to practice. You go to class, you're flunking in the class. So Liberia has to buckle up. We have to buckle up to meet the standard. The athletes from Jamaica, they meet the standard, both academically and sport-wise. The athletes from Nigeria, they meet the standard. However, knowing that Liberia is a mediocre country when it comes to sports, we try to give our athletes that leverage. If you come closer to making the mark, I can talk to the institution. They know me. I can talk to them that, hey, this athlete is so let's begin from here. And we start to build you up. Okay. For example, we got junior colleges here. Bill can attest to that. We got Division II colleges here. If you can't make it in D1, we send you to D2 for you to build up from there and then come to D1 level. And the D1 level is equivalent to Olympic level. And America, bear me, the top 3 athletes in America, they supersede almost the rest of the world. And the top 50 athletes in America, they can represent any other country in the world. So America is at a very, very high level when it comes to athletes selection. That's why we advise the Liberian athletes, go and run for your country. Go and run for your country, and you will meet these American athletes at the Olympic. And I'm glad that Joseph Fambule from Minnesota, who have been to a couple of Olympics, Emmanuel Matadi, and I think, what her name, Sidney Morrison. Okay, they have all listened to that call from different angles, and they are now representing Liberia. But here's the catch. Is Liberia recognizing these diaspora athletes after the Olympic? Have we welcomed them in Monrovia to say thank you? We only want the gold medal from them. How can they win the gold medal when they are not motivated? Okay, they got to be motivated on two fronts, intrinsic and extrinsic. Intrinsic is to call that athlete to the executive mansion and shake that athlete hand, like what Barack Obama and other presidents have done in America. When the athlete return from the Olympic, they invite them to the executive, to the White House to shake the hand and have coffee with the president. How many presidents in Liberia have done it? Zero. Okay, which is not good. How many ministers of youth and sports have done it? I would say practically zero. Okay, we should not do that to our ambassadors, our athletes. We should cherish them, we should welcome them, and we should praise them. Extrinsically, the national athlete on the ground over there should be on salary. That's why I'm recommending for a national sports tax from the government through our lawmaker to make that as a bill and let the national team be on salary. When the national team is on salary, the athletes will be encouraged to practice as hard as they can. Like during our days, like I said, Samuel Kanyado, he had the athletes across the board, not only football player, they were on salary. And then he has scholarship for the athlete who wanted to go to LU and Cottington. Right. Some went and some did not. So let's bring that back again. Before I land, Julius, I would appreciate highly where the government or through the Ministry of Youth and Sport to reinstate cricket. The game that they play in Pakistan and South Africa, cricket. It looks like baseball, but it's not baseball. You know, it's a replica of baseball. That is for our Lebanese and Indian community in Liberia. Those people don't have anything. Cricket was in Liberia before. So that would be able to bring our Lebanese and Indian brothers to our social, environment. If we had the cricket introduced in Liberia, the 15 counties, you having a cricket county meet, all the Lebanese from various counties meeting in Morea, there will be no seat at our SKD complex.
Thank you.
That's how you generate revenue. I pause.
Thank you, Mr. Soko. Unfortunately, folks, like I said, due to time constraints, we'll have to let's get back to Mr. Rogers here. We'll give Mr. Rogers the opportunity to kind of give us a closing on this here. I just, I want to, in closing, Mr. Rogers, I'm very curious to know, after all of your success, and from my view, I think your story is a success story. What do you see, and how can we, as a community, give back to Liberia based on your experience? How can we do that, especially when it comes to sports? And how do you intend? I know you're doing a lot of things back home, not taking away from it, but how can we actually get this done?
Well, thank you, Mr. Bopa Jr. And Mr. Kerry elaborated on a lot of the meat. So I don't want to hold you back. I just came in as an inspiration, as a testimony as well to back you up. But we need to pump in more resources as well. We're developing the skill, but we're not developing the mindset of the young people in Liberia. You cannot build a home with no foundation. The foundation need to be built well. And I see that's why the previous government, the government's continuation as well. We need to invest in the educational system as well in Liberia. We need to provide young people who play sport to use their talents, investment. That's money right there. Their talents are gift. Let them use the talent. The government can post scholarship for them as well. But you have to reset in skill. You have to pass the play. You got to be able to pass and play. Even in fashion industry, any other industries in Liberia, for you to take part in that industry category, they want to see your transcript and see how you're doing in school. Hold the young people accountable for what they love. If sport was in the United States to hold young people accountable, the U.S. is going to be one of the worst disaster countries in the U.S., I'm telling you. But because of sport, it utilized the young people. They don't like the classroom, but because they have to play,
So they are entitled to sit in a classroom to do something. At least the pass was 70%, they will say graduate. Because you cannot be good in a sport and you're not good in the classroom. We not expect you to be 100% junior for everything. Manage it. Manage it. So I'm appealing to the government of the Republic of Liberia and the Sport Authority. I already applaud them doing great job. All the Sport Development Center, the bidding, which giving rebirth to the young people to be inspired. But our young people are not going to school. They are destroying our nation. Our future young people have been buried because they're only chasing one side of the sport. Putting high-end money to sport, giving them money. We need to revise those stuff and start giving them the scholarship opportunity instead of giving them car. Why they will drive the car and sometimes they kill themselves and hurt themselves. We'll give them academic credibility so they can rebrand themselves as well. Because now the sport has changed. If you cannot receive the formations of sport, V1, V2, and how to interpret that game plan, the language and sound in the game, it's going to be difficult for you to comprehend this tactic, the strategic plan that the coach bringing on board. I have the chance to give a lot of young people scholarship opportunity to come to the United States. Only few could come. The rest cannot come. Some people GPA is 1.1, and no school will accommodate that in the United States. So I'm appealing that I have right, not just talking. I have read a proposal. I carried to the legislature. I presented to the men that are in charge of education as well. I presented it. Let us incorporate educational and sport and combine it. If the young people do not pass their classroom, they should not play soccer. You're going to see great academic competition in this country. The academic story should not be free. People should inherit it and should hold it accountable as well. All right, that is my dream, and I see talent. We lack of resources. The climate is good. I've done some research. We got good climate. We have no resources, no nutrition plan, no medical doctors. You know, no training laboratory for the young people to train. They have the skill, raw skill, but there is no way. We cannot stand by luck. There is no more luck in the soccer game. It's energy, strength, gift, talent. The young people have the talent, but the talent is not developed to maintain it. If you watch Lone Star playing, after 5, 7, 10, 15, 20 minutes in the game, they start running down the loose ballon. If you are tired when you bring the energy, there is no focus, man, because your blood is not focused. It's not circulating to your mind again. Anybody call you, even your referee, your coach call you, you don't have no sense of direction because you're confused. So you don't have that confidence to handle the ball when you're exhausted, when you're tired, fatigued, lactic acid into your body. Mr. Kevin know that. When the lactic acid enter your body, I don't care how beautiful, great player you are, you'll not be able to kick the ball, to even move from there to go. The accurate passes and possession ball, and we cannot maintain that possession. Require quality, agility, strength and condition, nutrition program. We need to get doctors, psychology specialists, mental counseling. The children go through trauma. I've been on the soccer practice ground where there is no proper water system for them to drink water. It becomes dehydration, and the climate the training on is very hot. So the water is named. Sometimes the coaches are following the excitement of the game. I time them like this. They go for almost 30, 20 minutes, no water break. Because they're excited. They're excited and playing the game. They're not seeing what's happening with the children's eyes are red or what's going on, if they're holding their waist, their body language and stuff. And it is bad. We follow the excitement of the game, but we don't see what's going to develop. I see Liberian national team player coming on keke, bicycle, motorbike to come on practice. They are not unified.
Wow.
The resources is limited. It's a disaster for our country. We should not depend on luck again. We should put in more resources to enhance the talents of the young people, to be more productive, to produce. Sport is our happiness. Sport is our excitement. Sport is the gift that Liberians have. Now today, the Lone Star can never follow the stadium again compared to the county meet. Why is that? Do not think Liberians do not like the sport. They love the sport, but they are tired, then frustrated repeatedly. The sport is not giving them the encouragement. The players are not no value again in the market. But now you see small players not trying because we have new stadium, modern player, they have environment to play in. But are we holding them accountable? We need to have a proper. I cannot be embarrassed where my college that are coaching be better than my national team. That is a disaster that it ran a crowd on the field when I'm sitting down when the persons are practicing. My college team can. I don't want my college. I'm praying because they're in a good condition, but it's a national team I'm talking about. I'm talking about national team or nation team where the whole nation depends on that team. The young people are not marketed well. They are not promoted to the higher extent that they can be valued. Any Lone Star player buy nothing again. I go in the club, I see them all drinking the beer bottle. Circle the beer bottle. Catch you. No day. Even in my sport right today, none of my young people going up there to even associate there to catch you with a bottles of drinks on a table. Never more being in the team of the HT and soccer team program. Because on a disciplinary committee, we got to hold them accountable. We're spending money on you because Sogo has said everything. Yes, the sport need to be the player, all Liberian national player need to have an insurance guarantee to play for their gut. We have an opportunity to bring players to Liberia. The parents tell us, but what is the insurance guarantee to the young people that go back home? I talked to Godfrey Meda, where his son playing now. He spoke with me.
Yeah,
Godfrey Meda said, yeah, your son can make it. Say, hey, Bill. Godfrey Meda is a senior brother to me when you were playing for the Liberian national team. I said, Godfrey, your son can make it because that's where he will develop his skill. Then from there, other people will see it. And just what we talk is happening to him, the young player playing now. And the coach that coaching him right now, I had a coach to go back to Liberia. The coach interesting. It's the first USA, the United States captain, Roy Lassiter. He's coaching that young man. He talked to me and said, Bill, do you know the Liberian young man? I said, I know his father very well, but I've not met the young man before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to go to. Back then when I was young, I used to go to the gym, but now I don't go to the gym no more.
So we have more potential young people all year in Texas right now that we can recommend, but how the insurance is not guaranteed for our nation. We need the young people to be happy. I can die for my school. I will not regret. I will smile in the casket when I'm doing because the sacrifice they invest in me. All the schools that I attend to in the USA, they taught me. I got insurance. I got medical bill. I got this. I will run my gut out. We need to change the sport atmosphere in Liberia. We cannot go from 1865, 1875, and Liberia cannot win. God didn't turn his back on us. We have it. Just as Senegal have it, Cameroon have it, South Africa have it. We have it. We have more better than that, but we're reluctant.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Definitely, I appreciate it. Hopefully, we'll try to arrange something. Hopefully for next week. Not promising much yet, but we'll see what happens. Mr. Soko, let's hear from you. Give us your parting comment. I mean, great conversation. I think our listening audience are appreciating the conversation today. So let's hear from you. Give us your closing comment, and then we will call it a night.
Okay, I want to give a shout out to all our listeners, and I want to give a shout out to you for the invite to be here, and shout out to my man Big Roger, who have just made his expose, and congratulations for your performance as a professor. That's what we look for in our young people. What I want to say here is that to build sport or to develop sport in Liberia, again, I will count down to these points. Liberia need to invest in sport. We need to invest in sport. We can't invest in sport with much talking. We invest in sport by investing our finances. Liberia need to pass a law that sports development tax be levied on all our workers. And when you levy the sport development tax on all the workers, their children must be able to benefit from it. Don't play only soccer. play all the sports across the board. We used to play all the sports in the 1970s and 80s. But right after the coup, everything just shrink down to only 2 or 3 disciplines, and one of whom is not played internationally, which is kickball. We play only basketball and football. When it's county meet, the Ministry of Youth and Sports say they don't have money for track and field, and the kids will start to complain and crying. And when it's Olympic, then Liberia won the gold medal. It does not work like that. You don't have it both ways. The diaspora athlete you see here, it is America's branded diaspora athlete, which we cherish because the Nigerians are doing the same thing, the Kenyans are doing the same thing, the Jamaicans are doing the same thing. Like Karani Jane, he's from the island. He just won the 400 meters, beat the American. Okay, he was training right here in Alabama. Okay, so we can bring our diaspora, we can bring our local athletes to the diaspora to be able to brand them up and make them international. But they have to meet the qualification. Like I said, you can't bring a mediocre athlete who is not doing well in the classroom and who is not also doing well on the field. It will tarnish the reputation of your sport program. So we don't want to do that. I don't want to put my name on any record for that. Having said that, we should also build infrastructures for the program. You can't have those ballhead field, we call it, with no grass on it, and you expect the children to play. Look, for instance, the county meet qualifying, the group that goes to Vonyama to go qualify there to play. How can you compare that group that qualify in Vonyama at that field as compared to the group that goes to the Doris Williams Stadium in Buchanan to qualify to play in the county meet? That's not fair. But it is what it is. So I want to encourage the government through the Ministry of Youth and Sports for us to have the ongoing infrastructures in the rest of the county for our athletes. And again, the superintendent in these counties, they are not working. Okay? They are not working. That's one of the reasons why I've been contemplating where the government will allow or they will change the law for superintendent to be elected so that they can do their homework. Otherwise, they get booted out of office. They don't do anything. They just wait for the paycheck. Okay, they should be the one to build the little stadiums that we see around Monrovia now. Okay, from the former president, George Weah. Thank you very much, sir. The next thing is to train our coaches. You can't have a coach that's in the 9th grade or coach in the 6th grade to go and coach at a high level. They must go to school. Let them be educated, at least college level. And then you send them abroad. It shouldn't start right there. You send them abroad to get their degree. And when they come back, they are well-seasoned coach like myself. I was able to go to Kenya. I scored high grades or high level. I graduated with distinction, and then I went to Hungary, and I topped the class at Hungary. That's how I put Liberia back on the coaching map. We can do that with many other coaches through the Olympic Committee and the IAF, which is now Athletic Union. The next thing, it will be a new thing, but we have been doing it. Okay, to have the National High School County Meet. The National High School County Meet. And just replicate what the outgoing, the former Youth and Sport did to have the zonal competition. All those that are in the Vonyama zone, they go there to go get qualified to come to Monrovia for the high school county meet. And the schools that qualify in a particular locality or zone, they select one team, okay, to come among the 8 teams that are coming. You know, they select those teams, they pick those athletes that come in. The top 8 counties come to Monrovia to compete in the final. The foundation is there, but we just have to follow through. Okay? Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Circle. And of course, to Mr. Rogers. I want to say thanks to both of you guys for accepting the invitation and being here today. Hopefully, we can arrange another time to have you to appear here to again discuss sports. As you are aware, Lone Star just got herself a new coach. Um, and so but that would be for another day. So, Mr. Rogers, let's use about 30 seconds and just give us our parting, just close up and let's call it the night.
Yeah, I want to say thank you very much, Julius. And Coach Kevin, you said everything, but it's time for action. You know, when we put it into action, then we'll work in the implementation as well. But I want to say thanks to all the audience and listeners and everyone who's been on the show today. I'm grateful. But I'm saying, Kevin keeps saying that coaching. Now, I'm a coach now, not just a coach, I'm an educator for coaches. I train coaching philosophy in the university. In all sport you think of, I do the coaching and I make sure that I prepare young students who want to go coach high schools as well, who want to be educators as well in high school as well. So Liberia have one as well. And I can also recruit to bring other young coaches here who want to do the internships and stuff like that. So we can also train other young Liberians. Instead of bringing every one of them in the US, it will not be healthy for us. But I have the formulas as well we can teach. So I do coaching, I do biomechanics, human performance as well. Teach coaching and coaching philosophy or coaching, dimensions of health and awareness as well. Then I teach all the programs, activities, courses as well, freshman seminars as well. I prepare career development as well, where students can get an interview. One thing that's stopping a lot of young Liberians, they don't have nothing to sell themselves, to market themselves as well. So this is the stage that I got on. I just want to share with the audience. This is Olympic gold medal here.
Wow.
Okay, that those are American students that are excited for the African young men. I went in that building just to sit down. I didn't know that I'm going to be nominated that night to be one of the best professors in the university for 2023 to 2024. That is a gold medal stage I just share with you, that every child in Liberia,
Thank you,
you
Bill.
can rise more than Bill Rogers, and you can be more than what you want to achieve in your life as well. Ms. Kevin, I want to say thank you, and we look forward making this sport to be better in Liberia. Thank you very much.
And thank you too.
Both of you guys. It was a great conversation. We appreciate you for being a part of today's conversation on Sports Talk on the Cross Africa Network. Folks, I'm your host, your humble Seven Lofa Julius. We come to you live from the people's city of Raleigh, the state of North Carolina. Until another day, when we should be right back here again, we say thank you, and you have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful night. I'm out.
I want Liberian Lone Star, wonderful players. I want Liberian Lone Star, got wonderful players. I want Liberian people, we choose success. I want Liberian people, we choose success.
Liberian people, we choose success. Our Liberian people, we choose success. Wherever you play, wherever you go, the Liberian people, we choose victory, victory, victory. sake for victory. No sake for victory. No sake for victory. Kaya pepe, 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 kaya pepe.
For all of our followers, wherever you may be following us from, we want to thank you. Merci, Chelsea P. Nourish. We said thank you for watching the clock. Deccan T. Gito, welcome. Diamond Lee. And the man, Ja Eddie, what's up to you, boss man? Mr. Bill Rogers, Mr. Kelvin Soko. We should thank to both of you for being a part of our program today, Sports Talk. And to the man Alex Nimlik watching all the way from Sioux Falls.
Money champion. Money champion. Money champion. Money champion. Please play more soccer to be a triple champion. I play more soccer. Please play more soccer.
The man River says pro.
Champion. I play more soccer. Please play more soccer to be.
What Wisdom Tree Dennis?
Yellow boys.
The man of God himself.
Yellow boys. Yellow boys. Yellow boys. Yellow boys. Yellow boys. When we go.
Kai Jabo.
No, when soccer comes to other, Liberian Darling Club, yeah. Liberian Golden Boys, yeah. Liberian Golden.
Kai Jabo, in his view, said Liberia needs a robust sports development program. I can't agree with you any more than that. To be honest with you, we do, but we must give it to those who actually have the experience, the expertise. We can't just simply say, because this guy plays sports at one point in time, so he should come. So, Kai Jabo, I'm telling you, that statement right there, I hope people will take it in good faith. We do need a robust, like you said, and I emphasize on the word robust sports program, development program, because these kids must learn, okay, to understand. There are a lot of things that they must take into consideration. These kids go to play just backyard soccer game. They start fighting among themselves. I see here where when I was in high school, you go to a game. After the game, we had to stand up. We had to line up and shake each other's hands. Whether you lose or not, I mean, you got to shake each other. I told my son, I shared a story, and I'll close on this note, right? I shared a story with my son when I was in high school. We went to a game, and this time around, I don't remember exactly what it was that I did. I think it was in my chemistry class. I didn't submit homework. There was a specific homework I should have submit, and I didn't submit the homework, and so the chemistry teacher has sent in my report, because we had every game the coaches will get our report, our class performance report, and they will evaluate that. They will talk to us. Sometimes they will get it before the game day, and then we'll have opportunity to make up, or they'll get it on game day. Unfortunately for me this time around, it came on game day. So Coach Lips, and may his soul rest in peace, man. He said, when he got it, I didn't submit my homework. I didn't do my chemistry homework. Um, he said, I'm not playing. I'm like, I did the homework. I just forgot it in my backpack. He said, you're not playing. You're not playing until we need the teacher's signature, all right, on this document that shows that you submitted your work and you're up to date with all of your requests. I was upset. I mean, I was fire burning because we were playing one of our rivalry team. Okay, it was Memorial versus West High School, and we have bad mouth each other. You would not believe it. I could not wait for this game. My entire focus was on this game, right? When Coach Liv said I couldn't play, I was so pissed sitting on the bench. And that day, unfortunately, here's the funny part about this, right? My uncle at the time he went to the game, he asked me, why you not playing? I blame everything on the coach. And like, coach had a problem. Like, I blame it on the coach, but I didn't do my homework and I was penalized. But anyway, at the end of the game, we had to walk. We had to walk in line and shake the hands of all the players on the field, right? And everybody, as I was shaking their hands, I kept going. Everyone would say, "Good game, good game, good game." That's what we're supposed to say. Good game. Encourage each other, whether we lose or not. We're supposed to say, "Good game" to the opposite team. And I was going at bad game, bad game, bad game, bad game, and then all of my all of my teammates were like, "Julius, stop! Like what is this?" I didn't know I was putting myself in more trouble with Coach Lip. God, we went back for practice. This man had us to do, I mean, just everything. We exercised, we did everything. We did not touch the ball that day. Everybody on the team hated me. Everybody on the team hated me for at least, like, I don't know, about a week through our practice. Nobody wanted to talk to me because I made it. He didn't just make me do it, though. He made the entire team, all right, to do it. We were punished because of one person's action. And since that day, man, I learned not to be the only. I thought I was being a rebel, but I learned my lesson. I didn't do it again, man. I kept, like, I was like, man, bagging, bagging, bagging. So I told my son about it. We were talking about his last football game we went to, and they lost again. So he got in the car. He was all upset, like, pissed off. Dude got in the car. He wouldn't even say hi to me. Like, he just got in the car, sat down. I'm like, is everything okay, man? No, I'm all right. I'm like, all right, man, you want to talk about this? No, I don't want to talk about it. I just want to go home. Okay. And we are going home, but we're in the car. Can we have a conversation about this? What happened? I see that you guys literally got run over. Do you see yourself as the problem? Did you see anything that happened? Dad, I can't. You can't blame me for everybody else's problem. I did my part. Yeah, you did your part, but there was a point in time where, again, you were playing safety, and that ball that you did not hit, you didn't bat it down. He cut it over your head. That was your fault. The touchdown was as a result of that. When you're giving the ball as a running back, had you run the ball through and scored a touchdown, you would have made up for it. So when I started saying all of these things, I guess I wasn't helping the situation, man. He just, like, dude just bust out, started bawling in the car, like crying. I'm like, man, I'm sorry. I guess I'm supposed to be hugging you and everything. Go do that nonsense with your mom, bro. I ain't gonna be that. You're not getting me to hug you and tell you good game. I'm gonna tell you like I see it. So, but anyway, guys, it was a great show, man. I got to get out of here. tomorrow's got to be tomorrow's work day. What Russia Pro say again? Thank Brother Lofred Judah with needs the council program, including American Declaration. American is that. The Russia program can't go a minute without politics. He said, we need American asset declaration. That dude declare his asset. He foot my foot. You know, thank God I'm not paying rent on Facebook, you know, so I can come up every day and I will continue. American will declare and publish that asset. You're not lying to us here. We ain't stupid. Okay. He will. We need to build our entire track and field team from Liberian kids in the diaspora. I agree with you on that part, River says, bro. I do agree with you on that as well.
I want Liberian Rooster, one of four players. I want Liberian Rooster, got one of four players. I want